Good day, viewers. You are welcome back to Tindanious Maths and Science tutorials. Today we are going to consider quotient rule applicable to trigonometry functions, okay, or what we call the trigonometric derivatives, right? Good. So here, when we talk about the quotient rule, quotient simply means what? Division of what? Of numbers or two numbers, where we have the numerator side and we have what? The denominator side. So this is what? The quotient of two numbers, okay, or the division of what? Of two numbers. So whenever you have a function in a rational form, okay, a over b such that b is not equal to 0 this way, that's the rational function I'm talking about. So we have a fraction this way and you are being told to differentiate, okay, you quickly employ the quotient rule, all right, where you are going to differentiate the numerator this way, okay. It's just like the product rule, okay. So you differentiate the numerator and you keep the denominator constant, then minus, do you get it that way? Then you keep the first function constant, then you differentiate the denominator, then all over the denominator squared. You get it that way? So we are going to, so this is your J, okay, and this is your what? This is your F. As simple as that. Viewers, this is simply the quotient rule. So let's see how we can work out for this. So we can say this is my function f. This is my what? My function g of x, right? Now if I differentiate the function f, I'll have f prime. If I differentiate sine x, what do I have? I have cos x. If I differentiate j, I'll get j prime, which is equal to, if I differentiate 1, I have 0, then plus. If I differentiate cos x, I have what? I have negative sine x. So I have negative sine x. So therefore, j prime would what? Negative sine what? Sine x. As simple as that. So now this, if I differentiate y, I have dy over dx, which is equal to, the product rule states that f prime times j minus f then times j prime all over j squared. So I have, what is f prime? F prime is what? Is cos x. So I have cos x over here, then times my j. Where is my j? My j here is what? Is this, times 1 plus cos x, then minus f. Where is my f? F is the numerator, which is sine x, then times j prime. Where's my j prime? This is my j prime, which is negative sine x. Negative sine x, then all over j squared. Where is my j? J. This is my j. You square it. I have the expression 1 plus cos x, okay, and we are squaring it. This is it. So viewers, therefore, let us expand to remove the bracket. So I have cos x times 1 is cos x. Now cos x times cos x is cos squared x, right? Then minus negative times negative is positive. So I have positive, then sine x times sine x is what? Is sine squared x. Then all over, viewers, this is the same as multiplying this twice, okay. So I have 1 plus cos x in one bracket, multiplying what? 1 plus cos x in another bracket, okay. Since they are the same, you pick one, then you square it, right? Good. So viewers, we know that from our basic trigonometry, we know that sine squared x plus cos squared x is equal to 1. And here clearly you can see cos squared x over here added to sine squared x over here, the result gives 1. So whenever you see this whole expression, it goes to 1, alright? So I have cos x, then plus 1. Then all over, please, 1 denotes or stands for this expression, which is this. Then all over, what do I have? I have the expression 1 plus cos x. Then you have 1 plus cos x. So this is equal to any of them, right? This divides this 1. Okay, so I have 1 over 1 plus cos x. Viewers, so this is simply your dy over dx. Viewers, let's consider the second example to throw more light on the quotient rule with trigonometry. Viewers, let's consider the second example. Given y equals this, let's find for dy over dx or y prime. So first we have a numerator over a denominator. Then we already know that we are going to employ the quotient rule. And the quotient rule, we know that this is our f. The numerator is always our f. So f here is what? Is sine x, then plus cos x. And our denominator is our g function, which is g is equal to exponential x. So f prime is equal to, if I differentiate sine x, I will have cos x. And if I differentiate cos x, I have negative sine x. As simple as that. Now, if I differentiate exponential x, I'll still have the same results, which is exponential x. Do you get it that way? Yes. So if you differentiate e to the power x, you still get e to the power x. We've been doing this all this while, right? Good. You can also prove this using the Taylor series, okay? Yeah. So what do? We know that for the for the quotient rule, dy over dx is f prime of j minus f j of prime all over j squared. Right? Good. So let's do substitution. F prime is this expression, which is cos x minus sine x. That's for f prime. Now multiplying j. Where is my j? J here is e to the power x or exponential x. Then minus f. Where is my f? F here is sine x plus cos x. Now multiplying this whole expression, okay, it's multiplying this, alright, and this whole expression, which is your f prime, sorry, this is your f, okay, your f is multiplying j prime. Where's my j prime? J prime is simply e to the power x, then all over j squared. Where's my j? This is my j, which is e to the power x, but I said j squared, it has been squared, so you what? You square this. So now the result becomes this. So viewers, this is the same as exponential x, then times cos x minus sine x. So I have cos x minus sine x. Then what do we have here? We have minus over here, right? Minus, then e to the power x is multiplying the whole of this. So I have e to the power x multiplying sine x plus cos x, then all over 2 multiplies x. We have 2x. So we have this is same as e to the power 2x. And this is basic algebra. Alright, good. So what are you supposed to do here? You can multiply through or expand, but viewers, that will be very tedious because e to the power x is here, e to the power x is here, so it calls for factorization. So I have e to the power x, right? Then an open bracket, then I will enclose everything here into the parentheses, right? So I have cos x minus sine x. Then this negative is affecting sine x. So I have negative sine x. This negative is also affecting cos x. So I have negative what? Cos x this way. As simple as that. Then all over, what do I have? Exponential 2x. So viewers, cos x cancels negative cos x, okay? When they commute, it goes to 0. So I have exponential x, then negative sine x minus sine x. I have negative 2, then sine x, then all over what? E to the power 2x. What can we do, viewers? What can we do? We can do something over here, right? Good. What we can do here is, so I have negative 2, then sine x, right? We say it's multiplying what? Exponential what? Exponential x over here. Then all over what? That's e to the power of 2x. Now viewers, this, okay, this will cancel one of this. So I'll have negative 2, then sine x, then all over e to the power x. So it's like you have e to the power x and you have twice of e to the power x, okay? So one of the e to the power x in the denominator will eliminate this. Then nothing goes here. Then you are left with e to the power x being 1, right? Good. Now, when you transpose this, okay, that's according to the law of indices, we know that a over b is the same as what? A then times b to the power negative 1. Whenever you want to bring something from the denominator, okay, to the numerator side, it is always to the power negative 1. This is basic algebra, right? So in doing that, this is the same as I have negative 2, then sine x, then this is to the power e to the power negative x, because it has been what? It has been brought to the numerator side. So viewers, this is the solution, that y over the x to be equal to, that's negative 2, then e to the power negative x, then sine x. As simple as that. Viewers, this is the end of the quotient rule being applied to trigonometric functions. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.